Xavier Martinez, a significant California artist. Born February 7, 1869 in Guadalajara, Mexico, and died January 13, 1943 in Carmel by the Sea, California. When he was christened, his name was originally Xavier de Mateo Martinez y Orozco, but later dubbed himself Xavier Tizoc Martinez. The middle name he changed was an acknowledgement of his Tarascan heritage. Though his only race wasn't Mexican, he was also half Spanish. He was known to his friends as Marty. He was a significant California artist who was painting and creating beautiful art in the 19th and early 20th century, a bohemian figure that was well known in San Francisco, the East Bay, and the Monterey Peninsula. His painting style was tonalist, and he also created monotypes and etchings. Martinez was what some had described as a very colorful character that stood out in major contrast to his paintings. His paintings were softer with muted lighting, a gloomy tone, and a simplified compositional structure. He was a rather eccentric character whose wardrobe often consisted of old corduroys tied at the waist with a ribbon, a bright blue shirt, and a red tie. Although his personality drew attention, Martinez was a very important painter and teacher, whose style he kept true to for 50 years. Some of his more famous work included The Waterhole, Nocturne, and Afternoon in Piedmont. Martinez began to draw his classmates and teachers at a very young age while still attending public school. After school, he worked in his father's bookstore where he learned French and wrote poetry. He admired the poems of Goethe, Schiller, and other French poets. He later recalled when he was 10 years old, his mother taught him about the movements of the celestial body. Reflecting on that at that age, he became aware that there was a rhythm in the order of things. At the age of 13, he began attending the Liceo de Varones, a grammar school for men, where he studied pre-Columbian archaeology and his Tarascan roots. He surpassed others in Indian designs and arts, and painted an oil copy of the Entombment by Titan. Here pictured is Xavier Martinez along with his fellow art students at the Mark Hopkins Institute of Art in San Francisco, California. The picture was taken in 1898. When he arrived in San Francisco, he enrolled in the California School of Design, also known as the Mark Hopkins Institute of Art. In 1895, while attending the school, he received the Arts Avery Golden Medal in painting as well as an honorable mention in drawing. When he graduated in 1897, he worked for a short period of time as an assistant to the head of the institute, Arthur Frank Matthews, and later became a member of the Bohemian Club. Pictured here is Xavier Martinez along with his fellow peers that he attended school with at the time. In 1901, he shared a studio in San Francisco with Gottardo Piazzoni, and that year became a naturalized citizen. He was publicized as a portrait painter, but also continued to paint tonalist landscapes. In the following year, he helped found the California Society of Artists with Piazzoni, Maynard Dixon, Charles Peter Nielsen, and other artists who were dissatisfied with the San Francisco Art Association. Their first and last exhibition included 17 works by Martinez that were mostly French scenes. In 1904, he began sharing a studio with Maynard Dixon, and the two traveled to Tepic, Mexico. Then, once he returned to San Francisco, he held an exhibition at the Bohemian Club. This picture shows Jack London sitting for a portrait by Martinez. This picture was taken in 1910. In 1905, he and Maynard Dixon spent 2 months in his birth town of Guadalajara, Mexico. Upon his return to San Francisco, he held quite a few exhibitions. He also had one show in New York, which emphasized Mexican genre paintings. That year, he produced a painting a critic called a masterpiece. The title was The Prayer of the Earth, and the title was an homage to his friend George Sterling. Pictured here is Xavier Martinez in one of his studios. After the San Francisco earthquake of 1906, he moved to Piedmont, California, where he met Elsie Whitaker, daughter of writer Herman Whitaker. On October 17, 1907, he married Elsie in Oakland and began building a studio in Piedmont. Pictured here is Xavier Martinez on the far right in a Copa's restaurant in San Francisco. Martinez was invited to create an art gallery in the Hotel del Monte in 1907 along with a few other artists. In 1909, he began teaching at the California College of the Arts. He taught classes in summer in the Monterey area from 1909 to 1914. A few of his accomplishments included helping found the California Society of Etchers. He was elected to the National Geographic Society and was given a key to the Capitol Club in Monterey. Martinez became a member of the American Federation of Arts in 1921. In following years, he continued to have exhibitions, but was often called upon to be a judge of other artists' works. Martinez was elected in 1940 to represent California in the Hall of Fame at the World's Fair in 1940 in New York, along with Father Juno Becerra, who built many missions in California, and William Keith. The photograph entitled The Big Four was taken in 1927, and it shows Professor Perman W. Nall, Professor Xavier Martinez, Dr. William S. Porter, Frederick Meyer, the college founder. During the last 20 years of his life, Martinez became more and more fascinated with his indigenous Mexican heritage. Not only was he known for his painting, he also published poetry and philosophical pieces in the column called Notas de un Chichimeca in Hispano-Americano, San Francisco's newspaper in Spanish. Now that we've discussed Xavier Martinez, a significant California artist, we'll discuss why California art is so significant to us. Like many other states in the Union, California has its own history, and without this history, many artist pieces wouldn't exist today. Drawing inspiration from the gold rush, people trying to look for a better life, Native Americans and their culture, to Native Americans and their wars with us, the rich history the state possesses is why California art is so significant. It could tell a story with just one picture.